Play ball, sports fans. Welcome into a new episode of the Leaderboard here on WTO 11+. We've got a show jam-packed with great local content. I'm Tyler Segerman.
And I'm Noelle Blumel. Thanks for joining us for another week of action.
Coming up on this week's episode of the Leaderboard, a touching story from the OHSAA State Baseball Tournament, how one family won more than just a trophy.
Then it's this week's Where Are They Now? Meet the pro basketball player who refuses to forget where he came from. Then we travel down Route 24 to Liberty Center, where we tour their new and improved football field.
And not to be left out, our parent shout-out of the week and some special honors for one of our own here at WTO 11.
6 of our local high school teams punched a ticket to this year's state baseball tournament, but only one left Akron as champions. Nothing could prepare Anthony Wayne for their first ever state baseball title and a trip back to a state championship, this time with a trophy, hit home for this family. Just after midnight on Sunday, Mason Dzierwa hoisted the Division II state baseball trophy.
It's a dream come true. You know, this group of guys has worked so hard all year. Our one goal is to win a state championship. 13 seniors, we've all played together for our whole lives. It just makes it so much sweeter.
A fitting way to end his high school career, given he was the reason the Generals made it to this stage, walking it off in the regional championship.
It's just such a great feeling knowing that I came from a JV team as a junior last year, and it's paying off in the long run, so I'm just so happy.
While he and the Generals celebrated on the field, an even greater celebration took place in the stands.
It's incredibly special. I mean, especially for my parents and my other siblings, just like, you know, having the opportunity to get to watch 2 of their kids, you know, compete in state championships in the same year in different sports. It's just, you know, you don't hear of it often.
Back in the fall, Mason's twin sister Ryan led Anthony Wayne to their first ever state volleyball appearance. And after a 5-set thriller, fell just short of the title.
They play off each other well, you know, they really talked about it all season actually. You know, we talked about how hard it was to get there for the volleyball team, but then, you know, and how hard it was to lose, but then you get a little perspective and you realize how lucky you were to get to that spot. And I think, you know, that's what Ryan had kind of said to Mason this morning, like, you're here, like, you did it.
When I went to her state championship game, when they lost a heartbreaking game, you know, it almost made me sad for her, and I was going to do it for her. Anything in my power to win this for her.
One drive, one family, and now one memory the Dzierwa siblings will forever share.
It's the gift of my life, to be honest with you. The fact that they're twins and they both just were such great leaders and really believed that their team could get to this point. And obviously volleyball was a heartbreaker, but the best part about today was that Mason said to his sister, I'm going to do this one for you. It's a full circle moment.
I gotta say, that was one of my favorite stories I think I've done. Obviously, we had 6 teams go to the state baseball tournament this year. You can get caught up in the highlights and the game action and a lot of the teams who ended up falling short, but for them to come out on top victorious, especially to do it for more than just the Anthony Wayne team, it felt really good.
Absolutely. Just how cool is it? Your sister gets to go to volleyball in the same year, your senior year. Then your brother gets to do baseball in this, like, what a heck of a senior year, right?
Well, and what a heck of genetics from their parents to have that good of athletes there. The Dzierwa twins obviously making, you know, big impact on each of their teams, baseball and volleyball. So
yeah, that's super special, super cool as well.
Yeah, and from there, that'll bring us to our Leaderboard poll of the week. Last week, we asked you, what is the best concession stand food?
Do you know what you voted for?
Oh, I know what I voted for.
Okay, well, let's see the results. Our four options, if you don't remember, were a hot dog, nachos, popcorn, or a soft pretzel. More than 100 of you voted. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Here are the results.
And to my surprise, the winner was the soft pretzel with either cheese or mustard. Close behind, buttery popcorn and the classic hot dog were in a close race for second, and loaded nachos coming in last by a hefty margin. I said last week, and I stand by it, hot dogs are for sporting events. That should have been number 1.
Yeah, well, it didn't, you know, we didn't kind of signify whether it was baseball, football. It was just concession stand food. See, I picked popcorn because you can eat popcorn. Some people say it's just a movie thing.
Yeah.
I feel like popcorn's such an easy. But here's my question to you, Noelle. Soft pretzel won, right? With with cheese or mustard. If you had a soft pretzel, would you go mustard or cheese?
Mustard. You gotta divvy it up. I'm more of like the tanginess. You gotta add some spice in your life. What about you?
I'm more of a cheese guy.
All right.
But see, we differ on everything. It's okay, though.
All right. And that'll bring us now to this week's Leaderboard poll question of the week. What do you think about the OHSA's decision to reduce the number of teams for football playoffs from 16 per region to 12? Do you like it and agree, or are you opposed to the change? We want to hear from you. Vote now and tell us how you feel about the decision to shrink down to 12 teams per region. To vote, simply scan the QR code on your screen right now, or head to WTOL11.com and head to the sports section. We'll have your answer on next week's episode of The Leaderboard.
Well, he grew up right here in Lucas County, played high school ball at Springfield, and became one of the most productive big men in BGSU history. Now, Demajeo Wiggins is back home for the summer, and we caught up with him and the coach he says shaped him. Here's a special look at where the game has taken him and the place that raised him. Dan Cummins has the story.
I was tripping over the line, like just in the middle of the game, and I couldn't catch, I couldn't score, couldn't do anything. But I knew I wanted to like play and learn and get better. And so the coaching staff over there, Coach Cliff, Coach Linehan, Coach Joplin, you know, they had the gym open all summer. So every summer I would just work my butt off.
What began as a rough freshman year in Springfield became a powerful journey of growth and grit.
He was, you know, kind of raw, very raw. I thought that, you know, his work ethic stood out to me more than anything because he put a lot of effort and time in the gymnasium, and he never really backed down from the work. He just kept coming to the gym asking me every day, can I stay, can I stay, can I stay? And I'm like, yeah. Calling me at home, I had to leave my house and go open up the gym for him. Let's get in and get some shots up. So his determination kind of made me realize, I mean, this kid doesn't quit.
That same work ethic landed him at Bowling Green State University.
My freshman year, summer workouts, I didn't think I was gonna make it. Like, it's so hard, there's so much conditioning, so much running, then you go right to the weight room, and you're doing that every day for 2 months. So it was challenging. So for me, I had just locked myself in my dorm, not locked literally, but you know, I took my time in my dorm, and I focused, and I went to practice every day. I didn't go out my whole summer of my freshman year, and even into my freshman year, because I knew like I didn't want to be just someone that, you know, made it to college and then that was it. Like, oh, he made it to college, and I wanted more for myself.
And in 2019, his grind paid off. Demajeo was selected first round of the NBA G League draft.
You don't see that happen too much, man, especially with basketball. It's tough to get drafted or go and play overseas. You got to be a special talent.
It was pretty cool, man. Like, I turned down Europe my first year because I was so fixated on going to the G League. It was COVID. I went to a really good situation. It just, unfortunately, we had Charlotte drafted maybe 6 guys and then had another 2 on two-way. So it was tough for me to like find rhythm. But again, like every day, if you ask my mom, like every game, every day I was working hard.
But his journey did not stop there. He's now played professionally in 6 countries.
Czech Republic, and then later that year I went to Estonia. The year after I went to Bulgaria, then Hungary, Germany, and now Spain.
And it's shaped the pro he is today.
Now it's more about thinking, you know, IQ, thinking the game. Maybe somebody might be taller than you, but you might be faster than them, or different angles when you're setting the screen, or different angles when you catch the ball. So it's kind of like a cat and mouse game now, because you have guys over there that's 7'1", 7'2", 7'3".
His work ethic is a testament to who he's becoming. So I'm just extremely proud of all the things he's accomplished in his career.
Wiggins says no matter how far basketball takes him, Toledo will always be home. He's spending the summer with family before heading back overseas for another season.
This front piece here, they took that piece out of my head and they end up putting it in a freezer from April, May, and the first week of June. I didn't have this front piece of my skull.
A former Toledo football player now facing the biggest fight of his life, the crash that nearly killed him, and the teammate who's helped him keep going. Jordan Fisher's powerful story ahead.
Plus, our Stadium of the Week. We're heading to Liberty Center, where the Tigers have called this field home for more than a century. Stay tuned to see how this small-town field turns Friday nights into big-time events.
In 2019, linebacker Jordan Fischer led the Rockets in tackles to cap his Toledo career. Following graduation, he then went back home to Virginia, aiming to give back to the community that raised him. Unfortunately, that desire is now in jeopardy as Fischer continues to battle for his health after a traumatic crash.
The misconception I run into is just that physically I'm okay. So like I can go walk if I want, I can go for a run, but all the mental and just the brain side of things, they're not good.
Not long ago, Jordan Fischer elevated into an anchor on UT's defense, leading the team with 89 tackles his senior year. Now, his life centers around trips to the hospital.
It's been tough to say the least because I've dealt with I can tell I feel different.
In March of 2023, while trying to check into a hotel in Richmond, Virginia, a car hit Fischer, putting him in a coma for 6 days.
This front piece here, they took that piece out of my head and they end up putting it in a freezer from April, May, and the first week of June. I didn't have this front piece of my skull.
Pain and depression followed suit as he struggled to bounce back from this traumatic injury. Living alone with no family around didn't help either. So in stepped fellow Rocket teammate and current Buffalo Bill, Reggie Gilliam.
We got a great bond there as brothers and as friends, and the way he's kind of been supportive to the situation that I'm in, it means the world to me, and it's pushing me to get better.
As Fischer began turning the corner, he experienced another blow to his recovery, seizures.
Sadly to say, I'd wake up and feel disoriented. I'd wake up in my own urine, and I could feel like the foam and everything around my mouth.
Since January, scarring in his brain has prevented Fischer from returning to work and living the life he wants. To make matters worse, he can no longer afford to visit the doctor. Fischer had to cancel an EKG appointment earlier this month because he couldn't pay for an Uber.
Up until I started having seizures, I didn't even feel like I was in a position where I could get help.
Last week, a GoFundMe set out to offer support for this former Toledo player in need. And for Fischer, any help would go a long way.
I want to get better. I want to go to the doctor and see what I need to do so that I can live like a productive and fulfilling life, honestly.
Obviously an unfortunate circumstance for Fischer, but the GoFundMe that got created just last week has gone crazy. I think last time I checked is near $2,000, and obviously Fischer, as you guys saw in that story, living alone in Noel. I mean, obviously it's not what you want as, a person who's trying to, give back to the community in Virginia that he is, but certainly it's nice to see that support's coming his way and he's optimistic about this.
Absolutely. In dark moments like this, the light obviously comes to the surface, and I think being around sports, him being a part of Rocket Nation, it allows for those moments of people to come in and help where they can. It obviously a traumatic situation for him. He's so inspirational on top of it, but just also on the contrary, a good moment for people to step up for those in need and just kind of show the bond that sports brings with people, especially for Rocket Nation.
Yeah, and it's kind of a crazy circumstance, obviously, with him being hit after going home, and now he's battling through all these things during his recovery. Now, I do want to say something that is positive and optimistic. The last time he saw a neurologist, he's been given some medication. He feels a lot better, like he mentioned in the piece there. He's optimistic. His mood is better. He's enjoying life. He's not looking at, oh no, what could have been. Like, he's looking forward to getting back to work and impacting people with what he can do. Obviously, he just needs to get healthier, and obviously this money will help do that for him.
Definitely, and Rocket Nation, I know, will be right there to support him.
Absolutely.
So we'll be following Jordan, but from there for over 100 years, Liberty Center has been the proud home of the Tigers football team. What started as a simple field has grown into a stadium full of tradition, pride, and recent upgrades, including new turf, custom bleachers, and a state-of-the-art locker room. Tonight, we take a closer look at the history and the heart behind Rex Lingruen Stadium, where Friday Night Football brings the whole community together.
So I was trying to do a deep dive on how long the football field had been in this location. And for as long as pretty much everyone can remember, this has been the home of the Tigers. The Liberty Center football field has been here forever. But over the last 5 years, 6 years, we've really made a conscious effort to not only increase the functionality but also the aesthetic of what we had given the land that we have and the existing structures that have already been here. So it's been, I'd like to say, about 111 years of Liberty Center football, somewhere around there. Sometimes it was not necessarily a school team, but the school kids played in it back in the early days. And I know that there was another location of the football field at one point, but again, for as long as we can remember, it's been here. Back when I was in school and even earlier than that, there used to be some more trees that lined the south side of the stadium, which really kind of made it get the nickname from some of our rivals as the black hole, because you kind of walked down into it and it felt like you were deep into the earth, which is why we've had to get a custom build for our bleachers. And over the last 5 years, that's one of the projects that we've been able to complete, is completely revamp all the bleachers within the stadium. In 2021, through gracious donations from our local businesses, some families who really care and love Liberty Center athletics, we were able to get a turf project put in by Maumee Bay Turf. We added, like I said, the custom bleachers to add functionality and seating to really give space. Seated, there's about 2,500. I think there's about 1,800 on the home side, and then 750 on the visiting side. But if you come here on a Friday night, you'll see people with lawn chairs lining the end zone, standing 3 or 4 deep. We don't have a max capacity, because we'll tell people as long as you can get in the door and find a place to stand, we'll find some room for you to watch whatever it is. It's very exciting, big crowds. It's kind of that old cliche that the town shuts down, but it's true. So we call it our metal building. It's our weight room and football locker room. We also have a storage room in here. It also houses our irrigation system and sprinkler system for our football practice field. This was a part of the upgrades that we did within the stadium during the 2021-2022 year. We completely stripped down what the old metal building was, basically down to the purlins, and completely redid everything, restructured it where we flipped where the locker room and weight room were, so we had some more room for our weight room. So back before this project, this side would have been the locker room and the opposite side would have been the weight room. This also gives more accessibility for our other sports who use this building to give access to the weight room rather than having to go around to the other side of the building. This is college grade lockers. You're able to sit in the locker, and each student athlete has a space where they can lock up their belongings. And again, just kind of putting those extra touches on the LC and the kick plate with the Liberty Center Tiger on there, I really think just kind of sets things apart and gives these kids the locker room of champions. In 2018, the name of the stadium was changed from Tiger Stadium to Rex Lingruen Stadium in honor of legendary Liberty Center football coach Rex Lingruen. That was shortly after his retirement. He'd been the football coach at Liberty Center for over 30 years, amassed over 250 wins, and was inducted into the Ohio High School Football Coach Association Hall of Fame. I know that he was kind of the one that turned around Liberty Center football and made it into what it is today with all the tradition and success. He was the head coach of our state championship team in 1997. I think, again, the specialness of being here for so long, the tradition. There's so many people that have memories here, and just hearing it when they come back in town, and keeping the tradition that we have, but increasing it to make it something that people are proud of is something that we take very, very seriously.
That brings us to this week's Athlete of the Week. Meet Kenna. She's a 9-year-old who has been passionate about cheerleading since she was just 4 years old. She cheers with Ohio Elite All-Stars in Oregon, and last season she was part of 2 teams that earned trips to one of the biggest cheer competitions in the world. Small in size but mighty in spirit, she balances her cheerleading with school, earning straight A's all year, plus practicing 4 to 5 days a week. More than just flips and jumps, cheerleading is teaching her valuable lessons about teamwork, resilience, and confidence. Her big dreams include making a world's team in Miami and cheering in college. Do you have a young athlete in your life? Well, we want you to show them off, whether you're a parent, grandparent, or just the biggest fan on the sidelines. We want to see your favorite youth sports moments. Send us your best photos and videos. Your submissions could be featured in WTO 11 sports specials and across our social media platforms. All you have to do is text us your highlights and be sure to include your name, your star's name, and a hometown. That number on your screen, 419-248-1100, or you can email us at sports@WTOL.com.
One of our very own is flexing some serious strength and just set a national record doing it. Hear what she did when we come back.
Before we sign off on the leaderboard, we want to recognize one of our own here at WTOL 11.
That's right. Usually she's one of the many behind-the-scenes pros bringing you the news. But this week, our very own Gina Lundqvist made some headlines of her own, breaking a national powerlifting record. Check this out.
At a powerlifting competition, Gina squatted 380 pounds. I'll say that again.
Wow.
380 pounds she squatted, thus shattering the national record in her class by, get this, 65 pounds.
She also deadlifted 391, just narrowly missing that record when another competitor topped it. And I gotta say, that's not bad for someone who says holding a microphone still wears her out.
Absolutely. I mean, our camera bags are pretty heavy. Yeah. I can barely lug that around, let alone that.
She doesn't even have the one that rolls it. We have the one with the wheels, and that's still heavy, bending down for that one. She slings that one and just walks like nobody's business.
I can't imagine. I mean, 360 pounds, that is, my goodness, that's
incredible.
A lot.
I know. Well, for now, that's going to do it for here on the leaderboard on WTOL 11+.
Yeah, we'll be here all season long for every sports season, bringing you the latest and greatest content from right here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. I'm Tyler Segerman.
And I'm Noelle Blumel. And from our entire WTOL 11 team, we'll see you next game.